Before we get to the Lakers, what were the factors that led you to leave New Orleans?
Consistency, I believe. As far as the Lakers showed interest day one. They were the first team to call. New Orleans didn't call right away. So obviously, I thought I proved my worth and what it would be like, but they didn't reach out or show any a lot of interest versus what the Lakers did.
What were your initial discussions like with Magic Johnson?
Well, it started 2 years ago. They reached out a couple years back and told me how they loved my game, what I brought to the game. Obviously, Magic having a lot of respect for me as a point guard and vice versa. So, opportunity to play under Magic Johnson and him watch you every day, critique you, and help you become a better person, a better man on and off the court. So, that was also intriguing.
They're asking you to come here and to teach and perform. I would imagine that's an ideal situation for you.
Absolutely. I've done it my whole career. I was blessed to play with a bunch of different teams the last couple of seasons, and I think that's obviously groomed me and helped me become the man I am today and the player I am today as far as mentoring young guys. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have mentors, so I'm a big believer in mentors and guys showing you the right thing and being great inspiration for each individual guy that he may mentor.
And how much did your experience with Boston, that veteran team, when you came in as a young player, in terms of mentorship, that's rubbed off on you and really stayed with you pretty much?
Absolutely. I think everything in life has happened for a reason. I was put in that situation for a reason, and obviously look here 13 years later, playing with such a young team along with a bunch of great vets, great vets as well. So I played, Keon Dillon was my mentor, Marquise Daniels, Kevin Garnett, P.J. Brown. I can go on and on about the great veterans I played with, and those guys were always very welcoming and understanding that they were teaching me how to become a man and teach me how to be a pro.
Speaking of the young crew, let's talk about the young crew here. What are your initial impressions with Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, the rest?
They're sponges. They're already coming up to and myself, LeBron, Mike, and asking us a bunch of questions. What most impressed me, I'll say Kuz. Kuz wanted to watch film with me the first day he met me. So that was very humbling for a young guy with that talent to come up and say, hey, can you teach me a couple of things? And we got in the lab and we worked, and what's even more impressive is that he texted me that night and was like, he showed me a clip of film that we played pickup on, and he told me, obviously this is what you were talking about, and he obviously got it. He's a quick learner, and he's a sponge.
Lonzo Ball in particular, because you guys play the same position and you have similar games, how good can he be?
Well, I think he definitely could be better than me. I was a 4-time All-Star. I'm a champion, so obviously if he's going to be able to get those accomplishments under his belt, but most importantly, just try to understand, winning is the most important factor. And the way he plays the game very unselfishly, I think he understands that winning is important.
It was almost like yesterday when you had those intense battles with LeBron James. Of course, that's history now. Your teammates, how close have the two of you gotten?
We've got pretty close, but obviously time, is going to continue to get our relationship a lot closer. So, we've chopped it up on the phone a little bit. We've talked basketball on the court every once in a while, but for the most part, each day in practice, we're going to spend more time together than we do with our families. So we're going to learn each other. We're going to understand each other and understand that we all have one common goal and try to instill this in the young guys.
One of the things he said today at Media Day is how he thought that you are one of the smartest players he's ever been around. Number one, how do you take that compliment? And number two, what do you think about his basketball intelligence?
It's very humbling, to come from arguably the best player that ever played the game. With that type of IQ, what he brings to the game, what he brings off the court, any way you want to look at it, it's very impressive. And he's obviously set the blueprint on how things are supposed to be done. So I'm excited. I haven't been excited to play with a player in this long time. Obviously I played with a great young player, Anthony Davis, last year, who's obviously MVP caliber type of player. But LeBron James is, the best player in the world by far. And if I can learn as much as I can from him, that's what I'm pretty much excited about. And obviously my job and what I take pride in is that I've always played with great players. I played with the big three. I played with AD. I played with Dirk. And what I pride myself on is mostly is making those guys' job a lot easier. And I don't think LeBron has ever pretty much had that as far as I'm able to think the game for him. He don't have to think as much. I can make things simpler and make him keep him happy.
Now LeBron has been used to having the ball in his hands. I don't know if challenge is the right word, but what can you say when both you are on the court at the same time? I imagine you think it's a good thing.
It's definitely a good thing. All eyes won't be on one particular ball handler. The ball gets swung on the other side of the floor. The other guys will be able to make the play. So not just myself and LeBron. You got BI. You got Ball making plays as well. So it'd be fun to see. We're going to make adjustments. We're going to adapt, but most importantly, we're going to sacrifice for each other. And like I said, I understand it's one common goal.
Now, you played very well in the playoffs last year for the Pelicans. They finally got passed around. Where would you say your game is right now?
My game is in pretty good tip-top shape. You know, I think I'm learning each year. I'm growing each year, getting better as a player. So, you know, people think I'm 40, but you know, I'm only 32. But you know, obviously, coming in the game at 20 years old, you know, you put some miles on it. But for the most part, I've taken a great job, taking great care of my body, and like I said, I'm just looking to be a part of something great here.
How good can this team be this year?
I got one goal, you know, and if it doesn't happen, then you know, I'll have to look myself in the mirror and figure out why that didn't happen. But expectations are really high for me and this team, and the same thing should go across the board with every guy in our locker room.